Hey guys, it's Mary and welcome back to Study Journey. Welcome to the first episode of the Python series. So in this series, we're going to be explaining Python problems, and this first problem is Hangman. So in this episode, we're going to get set up for the Hangman problem, and I'm going to show you guys what our code is going to look like by the end of the series and how the game is going to look like. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Okay, so in the first part of the video, we're going to first download all the stuff we need to run this program. So like all the Word files, and then we're going to talk about Hangman game rule requirements. So what we are required to solve in this problem and how we're going to actually write functions that help solve this problem. And in the end, I'm going to demonstrate what this game is going to look like after we have written all the code for it. And this is what basically the ending part is going to look like for our base function. And then after that, we're going to add to it, personalize it, and make it our own. So our first step before we get started, we are going to first go to MIT OpenCourseWare. As you can see, I've already searched it before. And then you can type in computer science Python. And then this will bring you to this page. And then we're going to click on the first thing that pops up. And then if you go to assignments, this is where we are going to be finding our Hangman game. So this game is the problem set 2, and notice this file contains one text file and then a Python file and then a PDF file. So we're going to be first downloading this file so we can have everything that it has on there. Now, if you look into your downloads, it's going to have this on here, and then we can open it. I am going to be putting this into one of my folders. So I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to create. So I'm going to make a new folder, and then I'm going to be naming it Hangman files. And then in here, I'm going to paste all these in here. And then so whenever I come in to try to like call a function or call any files within this Hangman files, I have to first enter CS practice because this is my larger folder. Now, if you just added a folder in here, you would just have to enter the CS practice or whatever you want to call it. So from here, we can see that we have one Hangman file, and this is going to be looking like this. So here it has like a general gist of what you're going to do. So it has the functions that you have to define, and then it gives you a little brief introduction. So if you see these 3 quotations, this actually means the section in between these quotations, it is just like text for humans to read, and then the actual code we're going to be typing underneath. So like you see right here, it says fill in your code here and delete pass. So when we delete this, this is going to be what this define function is actually defining. Now the other 2 files is this file is what the game is. So it has all these problems. So what we're going to be doing is basically using these to help us. So you can read the introduction and guidelines if you'd like. And then finally, here's the Word file. So basically, this file has every word that we're going to be using. All right, so to open up the game, I can go into my folder, which is called CS Practice. And then my final code right now is just in the CS Practice. It's not in the Hangman files. So I'm just going to go to mine, which I have named Final Hangman. So if I open this, this is what I have with all of my code and how to run this. So we go over here to terminal. And then if you search it up online, you can go to terminal app, and then we can download this app. I have already downloaded it, but this is what I'm using to actually run my code. So you can just download this, and I'm sure there are other ways, but this is just my best way. So we go into folders, and then we open the Hangman files, and then to run this, it's already in CS Practice, but if we get out, and it's just the base. How to go into a folder, we say CD, and then CS Practice, or whatever the name the folder is. And then from there, to open this file, we go Python 3, because this is a Python file, and then we go final hangman.py, which is the name of my file, and then we hit enter, and then this is what it should look like in the end. So it says, welcome to the game Hangman. I'm thinking of a word that is 9 letters long. you have 3 warnings left, you have 6 guesses left, and then it gives you the available letters, which for right now, it's all of the letters of the alphabet. When I guess a letter, for example, A, if it is in the word, it says good guess, and it prints out what the word looks like. And then tells me how many guesses I have left. And notice for the available letters, since I guessed A is no longer an available letter. Now I'm just going to guess another letter. Okay, so when the letter is not in the word and it is a vowel, it takes away 2 guesses. But let's say if it was a consonant, it takes away 1 guess if it is not in the word. So you just keep on guessing. And notice if I guess a letter that has already been guessed. So for example, I guess another A. It says, oops, that letter has already been guessed. You have 2 warnings left, and it prints out the word again. So some take away from warning and some take away from guesses, and we're going to separate which takes away from which later. So I'm just going to keep on guessing letters until I have no guesses left. So it says, sorry, you have run out of guesses, and it tells you the word. And that is what your program should look like in the end. Okay, so before we write this whole code, the next step, I'm going to actually write out a little flow chart of what our original Hangman is going to look like. So before all of the hints and all that stuff, we're just going to write a basic Hangman function. So right here, up here in the Hangman definition. So this is what we're going to do first. So I'm going to write out a little flow chart, and then we can later convert it to code. Alright, so we're basically going to be making a flowchart of what our code is going to run in the form of a flowchart. And then it gives us a general idea of what we're going to have to write and what functions we had to write to actually implement this game. So first of all, there's going to be the game Hangman. And this is what we're going to run when it gets here. But for the Hangman game to run, the computer has to first generate a word. So the computer generates a secret word, and then that is a word that we are trying to guess. It gives us to the Hangman game, and then the Hangman asks the user to input a letter. And this is going to be a guess that they're going to use. So the user is guessing a letter, and it's either in the word or it's not in the word. So there's 2 scenarios out of the input that the user guesses. It's either in the secret word, so letter in secret word, or the letter is not in secret word. So if the letter is not in the secret word, then we just go back to the input and then the user guesses again. But if the letter is in secret word, we have to ask, is the word guessed? So if the letter was guessed, then is the whole word guessed? For the whole word to be guessed or the secret word to be guessed, all of the letters in secret word have to be guessed. So there's 2 outcomes of this. It's either no, it hasn't been guessed, or yes, it has been guessed. So if it has not been guessed, then we're going to go back to the input again and then let them input another letter to see if it is guessed. And then it's going to go in this loop. But if the word is guessed, then the game ends and then you say you win. So basically right here, there's going to be a loop. Now that we have created a flowchart, we have a general idea of what we're going to be writing in this game, and this is going to help us in the next episode where we're going to be converting this flowchart into a general flow and making it into code. Alright, that is going to be it for this episode of the series. In this episode, we learned about the brief idea of what our game is going to look like and get set up for it. So in our next episode, we're going to actually turn our flowchart into code, and then we're going to move on from there. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.